The return of an ex, a scenario many have experienced. But have you ever wondered, why do they come back? Is it genuine? Or simply a clever mind game to pull you back in? In reality, many people fall into emotional traps set by their exes without even realizing it. Accidental messages, calculated appearances, or words that make you reminisce about the past. All of these could just be part of a strategy to influence you. In this video, we will expose common tricks that exes often use to return, and help you better understand how they manipulate your emotions. From there, you will know how to handle the situation intelligently, without getting caught up in a whirlwind of chaotic emotions. Watch and subscribe to the channel today to not miss the next insightful and useful articles. We will help you equip yourself with the knowledge to master your emotions and overcome challenges in love. Game 1, the Let's Be Friends offer. One of the clearest signs that your ex wants to get back together is when they suggest staying friends. At first glance, this seems like a polite way to maintain a connection after a breakup. However, when it happens after a period of separation, it often reflects their hesitation and internal conflict. They don't want to completely lose you, but they're not ready to admit they want to rekindle the romance. This is when they enter a phase of reassessing their feelings, a phase often filled with turmoil and inner conflict. In the first few weeks after a breakup, your ex might feel relieved by their decision. However, as the distance between you grows, they start to feel your absence more acutely. The moments they once took for granted, familiar conversations, your care, or simply your presence, now become things they long for. They begin to wonder if they made the right decision. But instead of directly confronting their desire to return, they often choose a safer approach, offering friendship. This action is not only a way to control the situation but also allows them to test your reaction without admitting their true feelings. When they offer friendship, you might notice specific actions. They may text frequently, ask about your life, or even suggest meeting up as friends. They will try to create the feeling that your relationship is still special, even if it's labeled as friendship. However, if you pay close attention, you'll see hidden signs in their behavior. They might try to evoke old memories, deliberately mentioning happy moments you shared as a way to stir up your emotions. They might also show more concern than necessary, for example, asking detailed questions about your personal life, or even getting jealous if they know you're seeing someone new. These actions are not just instinctive, they result from anxiety and fear. They worry that you are moving on, and that makes them feel a real sense of loss. The ex's psychology during this stage is complex. They are often torn between regret and hesitation. They don't want to fully admit that the breakup was a mistake, because it means accepting that they hurt you and themselves. At the same time, they don't want to lose you completely because you are still an important person in their life. This conflict leads them to choose a half-hearted approach, maintaining contact under the guise of friendship while leaving the possibility of reconciliation open. This stems from an underlying belief that they still have the right to control the situation, that you will always be there and ready to return when they need you. However, when they realize that you are moving on and they no longer hold a central role in your life, they start to feel insecure. Thoughts like, have they really forgotten me? Or could they be seeing someone else? Constantly arise, urging them to find ways to pull you closer. They might try to test your reaction with actions like unexpectedly appearing where you often go, actively suggesting shared activities, or finding trivial reasons to contact you. For example, they might send a message asking about unimportant things, but it's actually a way to gauge whether you're still willing to talk to them. If they see you responding positively, it will reinforce their confidence that you still have feelings for them. Conversely, if you appear distant, they will feel anxious and may increase their efforts to keep you close. In this situation, it's important to stand your ground. You shouldn't fall into the friendship trap they set up, because it can leave you stuck in an ambiguous relationship and diminish your self-worth. Instead, show that you are confident, independent, and not bound by the old relationship. Maintain a neutral but attractive attitude. Be polite, but don't let them feel they can easily control you. Don't rush to give in to the emotions they evoke. Let them realize that if they want to come back, they need to be serious and take clear, sincere actions. Game 2, the jealousy bait. Another tactic that X's often use to influence your emotions is jealousy bait. This involves deliberately letting you see them with someone else, a potential partner or simply a friend of the opposite sex, to evoke feelings of jealousy and distress. They want you to see, feel, and be hurt by it. So you'll contact them, beg them to come back, or at least probe their current feelings. This baiting often manifests through social media posts where they're pictured having dinner or having fun with a group of friends that includes someone of the opposite sex. A casual hand on someone's shoulder, a more intimate gaze than usual. All these small actions are not accidental. They are carefully staged to convey a subtle message: I've moved on. How do you feel about that? Your ex wants you to see and think about them, letting feelings of loss consume you and push you to act. This behavior stems from a combination of emotions: selfishness, a desire for attention, and the need for self-affirmation. When breaking up, especially if they initiated it, exes often feel they have control, that they are in a higher position in the relationship. But if you remain silent, don't contact them, and don't chase after them, it starts to challenge their ego. They wonder, why aren't they reacting? Am I not attractive anymore? Therefore, creating a jealousy scenario is their way of testing their self-worth. If you react, for example, by texting them or showing distress, it confirms that they still have influence over you, that they are still central to your thoughts. This feeling makes them feel desirable, attractive, and in control. Conversely, if you ignore them, your silence will leave them confused and questioning, why don't they care? Did I misjudge this relationship? Sometimes, exes not only seek to confirm their attractiveness but also want to bolster their courage to return to you. They fear rejection. So testing your feelings through signs of jealousy is their way of avoiding risk. They want to be sure you still have feelings before they act. This reveals their lack of confidence and internal conflict, as they don't want to fully admit their desire to return but also don't want you to leave. One subtle tactic exes might use is to leverage mutual friends to convey messages. Mutual friends might tell you things like, your ex went out with this person over the weekend, or they seem very close to someone. Sometimes these words come from your friends, but it's likely that your ex orchestrated them. This is an indirect way to gauge your reaction without direct confrontation. If you appear distressed or react strongly, your ex will quickly know they still have influence over you. They feel empowered, not only in their ego but also in their ability to hold you in their grasp. This can cause them to delay making a clear decision because they feel safe knowing you haven't fully moved on. Most importantly, you must remain calm and not react as they expect. When you see pictures or hear stories about them with someone else, don't let yourself fall into a state of insecurity or lose control. The best reaction is no reaction. This doesn't mean you're indifferent, but that you're showing confidence and maturity. If mutual friends mention it, respond briefly and neutrally. Such as, "Oh, is that so? Good for them." And quickly change the subject. Avoid exchanging information about your feelings through mutual friends or anyone connected to your ex. This helps you maintain privacy and prevents information from being distorted or misrepresented. Instead, share your feelings with friends you truly trust who are not connected to your ex. Game 3, Anger at your lack of contact. Another common tactic your ex might use to test your emotions or find a way back is expressing anger or sadness when you don't initiate contact. This is a paradoxical behavior. They were the ones who initiated the breakup, declaring they no longer need you in their life, but then become upset when you respect that decision. This not only reflects their internal conflict but also demonstrates their need to control emotions and the relationship in a way that benefits them most. When they realize you've implemented the no contact rule, no texting, no calling, no social media presence aimed at attracting their attention, your ex may feel a loss of control. Initially, they might just browse your profile, looking for signs that you're still thinking about them. But when they find nothing, they start to feel insecure. Your silence makes them wonder, have I really lost them? Or could they be moving on without me? This can lead them to act impulsively. They might text, call, or leave emotionally charged messages like, "Why are you cutting off all contact?" Or "I thought we could still be friends." In some cases, they might even express outright anger, "It's unfair that you're completely ignoring me, I didn't think you were that kind of person." However they phrase it, the real message behind it is, they want to check if they still have influence over you. This psychology stems from a deep conflict. When breaking up, they may think they will feel free, that ending the relationship is what they want. But your silence makes them feel less important than before. This not only hurts their ego but also makes them question their own decision. Exes often break up, believing they can come back whenever they want, that you'll always be waiting. When you don't react as they expect, they feel disappointed and anxious. Their anger may be a way to mask their insecurity and fear of losing you. They don't want to admit that you're doing the right thing by keeping your distance. Instead, they want to blame you for not trying. This helps them feel in control of the situation, even if it's not true. When they express anger or sadness at your lack of contact, the most important thing is to remain calm and in control of your emotions. Don't react with anger or lengthy explanations. Instead, maintain a neutral but polite attitude. For example, "Oh, I've been very busy, but I didn't mean to hurt your feelings." Or "I hope you're doing well." Or you could say, "It's good to hear from you, but I need to get to work on some things right now. I wish you all the best." These responses are sufficient to show that you hold no ill will, but they also don't indicate that you're ready to return or be influenced by their emotions. This is how you maintain your position, showing them that you're living well and not dependent on the old relationship. A common mistake is to completely ignore your ex when they reach out, especially if you still hope for reconciliation. While silence might get their attention initially, if prolonged, it can make them think you've truly moved on and no longer care. This could make them give up on the idea of getting back together. However, you shouldn't appear overly enthusiastic or eager to continue the conversation. Keep a moderate distance to let them understand you're not easily controlled. This not only increases your self-worth but also forces them to think more deeply about their feelings. Their anger or sadness doesn't always stem from a desire to reconcile. Sometimes, it's just a need for attention or wanting to feel they still matter to you. Therefore, You need to be cautious in your response to avoid inadvertently rekindling the control they once had in the relationship. When your ex is angry because you're not in contact, it's a clear sign that the no contact rule is working. Your silence has forced them to confront their true feelings and realize you're no longer someone who will always wait. This can make them re-evaluate the relationship and seriously consider getting back together. However, remember the key here is to stay calm, confident, and not let them control your emotions. You don't need to explain or apologize for living up to what they wanted when they decided to break up. Instead, show them that you're moving forward, strong, and not bound by the old relationship. Game 4, the Are You Okay? Text. One of the familiar tactics exes often employ when they want to check your emotions or keep you in their orbit is sending a short text, "Are you okay?" At first glance, this question seems like a caring gesture. But in reality, it often carries a deeper intention. This is not just a simple inquiry, but a way for them to elicit a reaction from you, to determine whether you still care or have completely moved on. This text is an emotional trap, generic enough that you can't refuse to answer, yet personal enough to evoke the feeling that they care about you. When met with silence from you after the breakup, your ex may feel anxious. They start to wonder if you've forgotten them or are trying to punish them by keeping your distance. The "Are you okay?" text is a gentle touch, a way for them to break the silence without admitting they miss you. They hope you'll react enthusiastically, tell them about your life, and, better yet, show that you're still thinking about them. This helps them reassure themselves that they still matter, that you haven't completely let go of the relationship. But if you react indifferently or maintain a neutral attitude, it can leave them feeling disappointed, even angry at losing control. Exes often believe they still hold a central place in your emotions, but your prolonged silence shakes that belief. They don't want to admit that you've moved on or are no longer influenced by them. This text is a way for them to regain attention without admitting their true feelings, a subtle test to keep you close and check their own boundaries. How you respond to this message is crucial. Keep things brief, polite, and neutral, such as, "I'm fine. Thank you. Hope you are too." Or "Everything is good. Have a nice day." Such responses help you maintain control and prevent them from feeling like you're easily swayed. Avoid prolonging the conversation or providing too much information. Continuing the exchange may make them realize you still care, which only diminishes the value of the no contact rule you're applying. Instead, let the conversation naturally fade unless they show a clear and serious intention to get back together. You shouldn't react too enthusiastically or completely ignore the message. Appearing overly eager will show them that you're still affected by them, while ignoring it entirely might make them think you've moved on completely and give up on trying to connect. Maintain a balanced attitude. Not too distant but not too close, so they realize you're no longer controlled by the old relationship. The "Are you okay?" text is not just an ordinary question, it's a tool to test and evoke emotions from you. Responding appropriately, calmly, confidently, and politely, will show that you've matured, are independent, and are no longer bound by their control. This is how you protect your self-worth and continue to move forward, stronger in both emotions and life. Game 5, the Belongings Game. Another game your ex might play to maintain a connection after a breakup is the belongings game. Possessions, whether big or small, clothes, books, or souvenirs, can become an invisible thread tying two people together. even when the relationship has ended. For your ex, these are not just physical objects but also an excuse to maintain contact. Check your emotions. And sometimes cling to a bit of control. Your ex might use belongings as a way to prolong the connection. They might say they want to come to pick up their things or return yours, but then cancel at the last minute. A few weeks later, they bring it up again. But still, nothing happens. This isn't because they're too busy or have forgotten, it's because they're deliberately drawing out the process. Each time belongings are mentioned, they have an opportunity to contact you, talk to you, and see how you react. This behavior doesn't always stem from malice. Sometimes it's just their way of holding on to a last bit of connection with you. Belongings become an excuse not to completely let go of the relationship. In their mind, still having each other's things is like holding on to a part of the past. A small piece that makes them feel the relationship isn't completely over. Keeping belongings or delaying their return is not just an unconscious act. It reflects the ex's conflicted psychology. They don't want to lose you completely, but they're also not ready to face their true feelings. Sometimes, they want to see that you're still affected by the relationship, that you still think about them. It's a way for them to validate their worth and ease the worry that they've been forgotten. Additionally, some exes might use this game as a way to manipulate your emotions. They want to make you confused, even sad, thinking they no longer cherish what you had. They know those objects hold special meaning for you. And by delaying or mentioning their return, they hope to create an emotional effect, whether it's longing, heartache, or even anger. To deal with this game, the most important thing is not to get caught up in the emotions they're trying to evoke. If they want to pick up or return items, maintain a calm and polite attitude. For example, you could say, "I can leave the items at the door for you to pick up." Or you can bring my things over whenever is convenient for you. This shows you don't consider belongings a big deal. Nor are you using them as an excuse to maintain a connection. If they cancel or delay, don't show annoyance or anger. Instead, show them that it doesn't affect you. Don't ask, "When are you going to pick up your things?" Or "Why didn't you come as promised?" These questions only make them feel they still control your emotions. In the case of them mentioning returning gifts you gave, handle it gently. For example, "It's okay. You can keep them or donate them if you want." If they insist on returning them, accept them without further discussion. Afterward, decide the fate of these items as you see fit: keep, donate, or discard, but don't let them become symbols of pain or regret. Your response to the belongings game is not just a way to maintain composure but also a way to affirm that you're ready to move on. You don't want them to see that you're still affected by this prolonged contact. Instead, show them that you're living your life confidently and no longer dependent on the past. Game 6, the hot and cold game. One of the most sophisticated and hurtful games an ex can play after a breakup is the hot and cold game. This is when they show interest and closeness one moment, but then become distant and indifferent the next. You might notice that one day they text excitedly, chat for hours, making you feel like the relationship is on the mend. But then, the very next day, they disappear or respond to your messages curtly and indifferently. This behavior not only confuses you but also creates deep hurt, raising hopes and then dashing them, leaving you wondering, what do they really want? This behavior often stems from a push and pull psychology. When they feel sad or miss you, They reach out to see if you still care or if you'd be receptive if they decided to return. But after receiving a positive response from you, they feel reassured that they can still have you if they want. This allows them to comfortably step back, return to their single life, and continue enjoying their freedom. However, this behavior isn't always intentional manipulation. Sometimes, exes are genuinely confused about their own feelings. One day they might feel that getting back together is the right thing to do. But after a night of reflection or influence from others, they become doubtful about their decision. This internal struggle leads them to want to maintain a connection while also not wanting to fully commit. This conflict stems from deep-seated fear and insecurity. On the one hand, they crave the security and love you once provided. On the other hand, they fear commitment or worry that getting back together might lead to repeating old mistakes. This leads them to keep you in limbo, not close enough to reconcile, but not far enough for you to move on. This is how they protect themselves from feeling hurt while also testing whether you're still affected by them. To deal with the hot and cold game, the most important thing is to stay strong and not let their erratic behavior dictate your emotions. When they text and seem enthusiastic, respond politely but neutrally, avoiding excessive excitement. When they become distant, don't try to contact them or ask why, as this only makes them feel they still have control over you. Also, remind yourself that this isn't your fault. This behavior reflects their internal conflict, not your failure in the relationship. Setting clear boundaries is the best way to protect your emotions. For example, you could say, "I don't want to be involved in an ambiguous relationship. If you want to talk seriously, I'm willing to listen. Otherwise, I think we should keep our distance." More importantly, focus on yourself and your life. Instead of getting caught up in their emotional games, spend time on work, hobbies, and new relationships. Independence and confidence not only make you feel better but also make you more attractive in their eyes, or anyone else's. The hot and cold game is essentially a manifestation of your ex's uncertainty and anxiety. And what you need to do is maintain your worth and not let them drag you into these games. When you stand firm and show that you're not affected, you not only protect yourself but also send a clear message: you're living your life strongly and don't need to depend on them. This is how you overcome this game and assert your value in any circumstance. Breakups are not always a clear end. Sometimes they're just the beginning of a series of complex actions and signals from your ex, manifested through psychological games. Behaviors like offering friendship, jealousy baiting, or the hot and cold game often reflect not only a desire to return, but also reveal their emotional conflict and confusion. While it may seem like they're trying to test your emotions, cling to a connection, or seek self-affirmation, it's crucial to stand your ground and not get caught up in the emotional whirlwind they create. The core issue is not how you react to win them back, but how you control yourself, protect your worth, and maintain confidence. Every game they play can hurt you if you're not aware of the purpose behind those actions. However, by maintaining a calm, neutral attitude, and focusing on building your own life, you not only create a strong image but also put yourself in a more powerful position in any interaction. If they truly want to come back, sincere actions and clear efforts will replace psychological games. And if they're not sure enough to face their true feelings, then letting go might be the best way for both of you to find happiness. Whatever the outcome, not being affected by their games will help you move forward with strength, maturity, and self-respect, something that every relationship, old or new. Needs.